everyone, my name is Leilani, and this video I'm going to share with you how I am homeschooling my youngest daughter that has disability, special needs. She has Down syndrome. Unique, exceptional abilities, whatever you guys want to call it. There are a lot of us out there, whether it's autism, Down syndrome, it could be a learning disability like dyslexia, dysgraphia. The point is that we are always going to have to meet the needs of our kids. And so in this video, what I'm going to show you is how I am meeting the needs of Naomi and how I am planning this upcoming school year. She is going into first grade. However, she is delayed. A lot of us that have children with autism, Down syndrome, we will have therapists that work with them one-on-one, whether it's once a week, twice a week. I think it's so important for us to find therapists that we can trust. It's not always the case, it's not always perfect, and you're not gonna lose anything or any time if you have to switch over to a new one because it's really difficult to work with that person. When it comes to education, I find that speech and occupational therapy just really connect along with the educational side of things. Looking at those goals that they have set for her and just trying to feel out, okay, is she ready for this? Is she not ready for this? Now, occupational therapy is going to, first of all the therapies that she does counts as school for her. If she was going to a regular public school or a private school, she would have, hopefully, she would have services in the school that would take from educational time, academic time. And that's pretty normal and that's pretty common. We are doing it through a private company, through our insurance. That time that she spends with the therapist is considered school. We're learning how to pick things up, how to jump, how to walk downstairs. We're learning how to say words, pronunciate things. Even in her speech class, she's learning how to recognize, decode words. She actually has a program. So this is an app that you can download. It's called TD Snap. It is what she will use to communicate.
I wanted help.
Right, and then if they want to read it back.
Brother, I wanted help.
Right, so the reading words, they highlight it. So this is all part of reading, but it's also a part of communicating and a part of speech. It's TD Snap. You have an iPad, you can put on your iPad. Some insurance will actually pay for a device. We did that where the insurance company pays for a device. And I'm gonna tell you what, that thing is so slow. It's just slow. We tend to grab the iPad because we have it on the iPad as well. Some of the goals that her occupational therapist has actually laid out for her have to do with writing. We have actually been using a couple of different programs with her. Some simple is just like me having her write her name over and over again, copy over, words. But I kind of base it with this last year with kindergarten. I've been basing it off of a program called So Happy to Learn. So Happy to Learn has little books like this that you print out and they read through these books. They also have matching, things like this. I have a couple videos where I show you how we're using them with her, but she will, of course the words are colored, but she will match them. We do have a letter book that So Happy to Learn has, where she goes through a letter, and yes, it's pretty beat up because we go through this a lot. And we'll read through this. I have videos where we show you how we use this. We also make our own books too. And the happy sheets, which every month the lady who puts together the program So Happy to Learn, which is actually specific to Down syndrome, but I know that just through the grapevine, a lot of parents that have kids with autism will use it. It's sight words, which actually I have learned Down syndrome because of their delayed speech, they missed a portion in their developmental stage. It's the linguistics portion. So when learning phonics, it's very difficult for them. So instead, sight word tends to be the go-to for them. Not saying that you shouldn't teach a child with Down syndrome phonics, which I'll get into a little bit later, but it's just that they are probably going to learn best with sight words. And every child is different. It also comes down to that. Whether it's Down syndrome, autism, any of those disabilities, every child is different. So happy sheets. Every month, her name is Miss Brown, she puts out another set of happy sheets. And they have like a beginner one, and they have different levels. They actually have now an adult bunch of happy sheets. Now, some kids will go through a whole set of happy sheets a day. Naomi doesn't, because it is actually a pretty thick packet. And the happy sheets that I have right here are actually all done. We just finished it, so I gotta print out some more. But they kind of look like this. So she circles and she reads this, which is the same thing every single week. It's I am happy to write, I am happy to read, I am happy to draw. So she's recognizing these words over and over again, circling them and reading them. I did it as always at the bottom of the page. So she's tracing the letters, writing the letters out. On the back of each page, Miss Brown actually trains us to come up with something to go, just to be creative with having them either practice writing, practice counting, because there is numbers and counting and math included in this program, drawing things, and so she trains us on that. And this is another page. I am happy to count. So this is when we're counting the apples on the tree. I did that with her. Even though it says how many trees do you see, we see one, but I had her count the apples on the tree. So it's very flexible to kind of meet their needs. At the very end of each happy sheet, of course, there's a picture of Miss Brown, and she says, you did it, and then write Miss Brown a note, write about your happy work. She actually encourages the child to scribble write. So writing and scribbling, just to start to develop that connection between the scribbling and the thinking words. I have a video on the different stages of writing, which is really interesting. You guys are welcome to watch it. It's in the iCards, and it'll explain all of that to you. Of course, with our kiddos, when they have disabilities, learning disabilities, they tend to skip over some of those, or they may be stuck in one of those stages of writing, and they can't seem to move past it, and we have to figure out how to push them to the next level. So those are really helpful when you're working with your kids. And so I have these boxes that is part of the So Happy to Learn program that I tend to put all of her work inside of, so I can bring these with me everywhere. This is another one of the boxes that I use for So Happy to Learn, and these are word cards that we use, and I'll have her use the same ones, like I like, I see, and I like seem to be the beginners. I also added one because I recognize that she's doing a lot of sight words. She has the one God made, and then we'll put, girl, and then we'll switch it out to cat, and we'll switch it out to balloon. And we're building these word cards as we go through each unit that Miss Brown puts out month to month. And I will actually sometimes draw pictures on the back, or I will actually, get a squirrel and I glue a picture of a squirrel. This is something that we've been using for the last year. I see some success. I see some growth. It is a very positive experience for her because, Miss Brown does do some training on how to teach the program to make it positive for the child. And I will say one thing, Naomi really likes to do her box. So that's working. But because I am, I want to be able to not be stuck in one thing. I want to be able to challenge her and stretch her. I'm not afraid to try other curriculum with her. So in her box, I have included some Handwriting Without Tears, which is something that I keep going back to over and over again. I'll buy a workbook, we'll run through the workbook, see where she fits in, and we'll come back and buy it again. One of the goals that her therapist or occupational therapist has for her is recognition of letters. We watch Letter Factory Leapfrog all the time. She knows her letters. Whether she shares that information with you or not, We'll say the letter, we'll make the sound of the letter, we'll read the sentence. We'll do one of these a day, and then we'll take a break from it, and I'll probably buy this workbook again. Another one that we have in the vaults, books to read. Now, we do have these guys, which, you know, if you know anything about elementary school or teaching your kid how to read, you know Bob Books. I'm telling you what, whoever did Bob Books is like the queen of, you know, getting her stuff out there, because you can find these books everywhere. You know, Bob Books is what it is. I mean, the pictures are like this. And I get it. Kids relate to these kind of pictures. I don't know. I just sometimes am not a big fan of Bob Books. However, she does like these books. Now these books, look, since I know that sight reading is a huge thing, readers that have stories in them that we can do over and over and over again, the more we do, the better off we are. I feel like with her, a lot of repetition and a lot of just a lot of repetition, more than most kids, okay? We will read this book every single day. And she's reading it. Yes, she's reading it from memory, but I'm trying to make sure that she's pointing to the words. Same with So Happy to Learn. She can't circle these because they're in a book, but she can point to them. And she seems to be more engaged with these because I think of the pictures maybe. I don't know. This one we do every single day as well. Oh yeah, she loves this one. I don't know what it is about this one, but she loves this one. I like it too, because it really talks about, you know, giving and sharing. And I have about 5 books that we read every single day together from this stack, and we'll just keep rotating through these. I also bought this set, and they might be a little bit too advanced for her moving into 1st grade, but it's always good to have something that's a little bit advanced to push them. This is book 1, Pirate Pat. This looks like one of those things where, you know, I could read this and she can go tap, tap, tap. And then, you know, I can read this up here and then she can read that. And so that's book 1. There are a lot of books in here. You know how many are there? There's 50. But I actually foresee us using these for a while. I feel like these are gonna move into like 5th grade. We'll still be using these, so. I also have a ton of books over here. Always Dr. Seuss is fun. This one's a little bit long. I always refer to these. Love these. Of course, the Zonder Kids, the reading series. I can read. I love Happy Day books. Those are fun. I just have a stack of them just sitting here on the bookshelf. But these aren't my core books. These are more just like, let's just sit, curl up. Maybe you'll recognize words here and there. This one actually is a regular. It teaches counting. And for right now with her, like when it comes to math, I just want her to be able to count. And let me just, you know, I'm gonna move into math a little bit. I'm gonna jump over to math. Counting is huge. I also have some games. So I feel like with her, games are huge. I'm gonna continue buying games, but this is one of the games that I have, which is number matching. We also have these tag bags, which I've been using for a while. It's from Learning Without Tears. Tons of little games in there, games with songs. Just lots of math type games. Now I found this company, I'm trying them out. It's called SnapWords. And this is their preschool card reading set. It's cute because we're starting with 10 words. And you can see it has like a little picture with it. It says cat. And on the back of it, it looks like that. And it gives you some ideas, hand gestures that you put along with it. So you're using the whole brain. If you've never heard of that whole brain teaching, it's this idea of using verbal, auditory, and physical all at the same time. And so this is whole brain learning, doing all of it. And so we do 10 cards a day and we just go through them and it's just flashcards, you know, bus. And these are some of the words that she's actually using with So Happy to Learn. I like to have her draw a lot of these things, like if she'll create a sentence with some of those word cards that I showed you from So Happy to Learn, I will have her create the sentence and then I will get a notebook paper and write it and draw it and have her color and help me do all those things. Probably the one that's gonna be the most, I think, intensive out of all these things. You guys are probably like, this woman's crazy. Well, you know, maybe. But here's my thought process. I want to challenge her and I want to meet her where she's at, and I want to try all the different things to try and figure out her learning style. I got All About Reading. I loved All About Spelling. I used it with all of my kids. It does follow the Orton-Gillingham method. That is actually specific to children that have dyslexia. So it does come with a card box, which I love so much. Now the cards, you actually tear them apart and you put them inside of here. And actually, I did not finish it, so you can kind of see what they look like before you tear them apart. Then you got the teacher manual, which was All About Reading is going to be teacher intensive, but whatever I do with her is going to be teacher intensive. This is my book of letters, which comes with the program. You know, I'll be honest, I'm probably going to have to buy multiple workbooks of this. You know, bee, bumblebees. Then it comes with 2 books. There's Zigzag Zebra and Lizard Lou. This one's Rhymes Old and New, and this is a rhyming alphabet, and I'm guessing that the puppet they sent me is the Zigzag Zebra. And it did come with a nice bag, so that's cool. And they came with lots of stickers, and they look like they've got a couple of wall charts that we're gonna put up. So with Learning Without Tears, we get things like this, where they're actually forming letters. Like, there you go, it's a D, P. We also have this touch and flip card set, which we've been using, and we pull it out every once in a while. It's fun. We'll lay it out and we'll do the alphabet, but on the back, it's rough, okay? And on the front, it actually makes an animal alphabet parade. So the happy face is a smile, and then a alligator, and it goes across the floor. This is more of a challenge, and this one is, if there's sensory processing stuff going on with kids, it's meltdown city. So far we have not had that. But these are wiki sticks, and they stick right on there. She does these. So far we haven't had any issues, but they'll stick on there and you form the letters. So really anything with forming letters is good because it's kinesthetic. Play-Doh, we'll make letters out of Play-Doh. So that's what we're doing with Naomi next year. It is a lot, and I get it. Repetition, 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 repetition. I can't even stress how important that is, and you just keep chugging. You just keep chugging through and keep educating yourself on this stuff. So let me know how you guys are doing with that. Also, if you have any questions. But now that we're moving into 1st grade, we're running into lots of different types of art obstacles, specifically when it comes to, you know, reading and writing and mathematics. So let me know if you guys have any specific questions on those things. And, you know, maybe I'll make a video. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.